So, good day, everyone. I hope your day is great so that you can listen carefully in our topic today. Because you need to listen and understand the topic that will be discussed today. So, our topic today is all about the pre Spanish period. Anyone who has a learnings or knowledge about the pre Spanish period. So, I guess all of you are will not going to answer my or give some um, little things about the pre-Spanish period. Um, we move on. By the way, I'm your teacher today. I'm Sir Alejandro Samson Jr., but you can call me Sir Sam. Anyways, our topic today is from the Philippine literature book. The title of this topic is the pre-Spanish period. I hope in your past grades, I know you have tackled this topic so that I know that some of you have a idea about this topic. So please take note what I am saying here in front of you so that later on you can give your own perception about this topic. So so let's move on and let's start the discussion. So what is the pre-Spanish period? So this topic about pre-Spanish period is a very exciting one of because it will bring us back to the time when our ancestors are still enjoying the blessings of freedom, no, to carve their own destiny under the heavens. So people, did you know that the days when they are but free to move elsewhere? So free to explore their environs, free to discourse with their fellow freemen, and free to chart their own lives. So, join me as we explore the beauty and unique features of Philippine literacy pieces produced during this period. So, um, pre-Spanish period, long before the Spaniards and the others foreigners landed on the Philippines shorted out, forefathers already had their own literature stamp in the history of our race. So, our ancient literature shows our customs and traditions in everyday life as traced in our folk stories, old plays and short stories and riddles which we will still enjoy today and which serve to show to generations the true culture of our people. So anyways, here are some important details in the topic. The characteristics of the pre-Spanish period. So we have legends, folk tales, epics, and lastly the folk songs. So that are the characteristics of pre-Spanish period. So take note of that, class. So first we have a legend. Um, Legends. So this characteristic is a form of prose that common theme of which is about the origin of a thing, place, location, or naming events are imaginary, devoid of truth, unbelievable. So all Filipino customs are reflected in. So legends thou is the pre-Spanish legends are fictitious narratives which explain the origin of things, place, or names. So actually the early Filipino customs are also depicted in them as it entertains the people during the gatherings and occasions. So I have example of legends. So take note of this, class. So examples include the legend of the Tagalog from the Tagalogs, the legend of the Philippine archipelago of the Visayans or the Visaya from the Visayans. So that's it. So we will study the legend of the Tagalog and the legend of why the sea is salty, both Ilocano and Tagalog version. So that is from Ilocano and Tagalog. So let's move on the next characteristics of the pre-Spanish period. So I hope you fully understand the legend because later on I will give some questions about that. So next, we have folktales. So folktales are made of stories about life, adventure, love, horror, and humor where one can derive lessons about life. So these are useful tonals because they help us appreciate our environment, evaluate our personalities, and improve our perspective in life. So folktales daw are the stories made up about life, adventures, love, horror, and humor where one can derive lessons about life. So popular examples include here at what is it? Folk tales is the sun and the wind and the boy who became a stone of the Tingguanyans. So take note of that. So I hope you understand the folk tales. So let's move on about epics. So epics are long narrative poems in which a series of heroic achievements or events, usually of a hero, are dealt with a length. So, by the way, nobody can determine which epics are the oldest because in their translations from other languages, even in English and Spanish, we can only determine their origins from the time mentioned in the said epics. The Hudhud and the Alim of the Ifugaos may have happened during the Stone Age when iron was still unknown. Also, the Gangan of the Moros we have started during the period of the kingdom of the Bumbaran that sank in the Pacific Ocean during the Deluge. So, anyone who can remember that, I guess no one, no? Because in that situation, we are not born yet. So let's move on. Or it is clear that Maragtas was written during the period of Christ, and the Ibalon of the Bicol, which dealt with the early people of Bicol, is believed to have happened before the Diluc. Aside from the aforementioned epics, there are still other epics that you can read and study, like the following epics. So I will give some other example of epics. If you have time, you may read the stories because it is interesting and beautiful stories. So first we have Biag ni Lamang by Ilocanos and Hudod ni Hi Aligayon of Ifugaos. So Alim Ifugaos. Oh, so no, the Biag ni Lamang is from Ilocanos. So the next is the Hudhud Hi Aliguyon from Ifugaos. So Alim from Ifugaos, Ibalon from Bicol, Hadyong from Bicol also, Hinilawod from Bicol. So Maragtas, Visayan, Haraya is Visayan also, Lagda is Visayan. So as you can see in the presentation, no, there are some epics that available to read and to understand also. Please read, guys, so because that is interesting stories. I don't want to read all of the stories because I may lack of time na. So let's move on about the last one, the last characteristics of the pre-Spanish period. So the folk songs. So folk songs are the oldest form of the Philippine literature that emerged, which are composed mostly of 12 syllables per line of 4 in a verse. So these songs mirror the culture of each group, singing specific song per occasion, celebration, activities. Here are some of so actually I have an example of these songs and the corresponding occasion, celebration, activity. So the first, Kundiman, Song of Love, serenading song. So can you listen of that? Also the Kumintang, Dalit, Oyai, Diana, Silirani. So that are the examples that you can also listen. That is example of folk songs na. So I guess you understand my discussion today. So that's all the characteristic of the pre-Spanish period. So if you listen carefully to my explanations, I will give questions, but before you answer my question, I will start it a meaning of one of the characteristic, and you will say it to me what it's okay. What So that's all the characteristics of the pre-Spanish period. So if you listen carefully to my explanations, I will give questions, but before you answer my question, I will state it a meaning of one of the characteristics, and you will say it to me what's that characteristics. Okay? So I will call you one by one. So first, this this characteristic is an oldest form of Philippine literature that emerged, which are composed mostly of 12 syllables per line of 4 in a verse. So, take note your answer. So next, these characteristics are long narrative poems in which a series of heroic achievements or events, usually of a hero, are dealt with a length. So, okay, next. These characteristics are made of stories about life, adventure, love, horror, and humor where one can derive lesson about life. Okay? And last question, this characteristic is a fictitious narrative which can explain the origin of things, place, or names. So, okay? So, what's your answer in number 1? Okay, that's correct. Folk songs. Number 2, good. Epics. Number 3, folk tales. Very good. And lastly, legend. Okay, very good. So, everyone is listened carefully to my explanation. I hope you continue that um that pag-uugali, ha? Okay, so I guess you listened very well to my explanation. So before we end this discussion, I need you to pick your partner. Okay, pick your partner. And also this is and explain the get your partner and explain the difference between folk tales and folk songs. I will give you 15 minutes to answer. Okay? So, okay, before that, I guess, you already answered na. So, okay, pass your papers. And for your assignments, guys, search the epic Biag ni Lamang. And you need to read and understand it, and in the one whole sheet of paper you need to give the moral lesson of the epic story. That is individual, ha. So okay, that is 50 points. So pick up your things. I guess it's time. So okay, I guess that is it. Goodbye, class. See you next meeting.